Hey everyone, Noah St. John here, and welcome to the Ask Noah St. John show, right here on NoahNation.com. I'm here every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here on NoahNation.com, answering your questions about how to get rid of your head trash, how to get unstuck, find your voice, and automate your business so you can have more time freedom, personal freedom, and financial freedom. Hello again, I'm Noah St. John from NoahStJohn.com and AppFormations.com. Now today we're continuing our look at some of my favorite self-help books, personal growth books, some of the books that have contributed to my growth and my spiritual journey. And so today we're continuing our look at Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. Now today our topic is how to avoid arguments. Something we all want to do. All right, so in this today in this episode, I'm going to look at two chapters here from Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus that John Gray talks about. And he says, men are like rubber bands and women are like waves. Men are like rubber bands and women are like waves. All right, men are like rubber bands, he says. When they pull away, they can stretch only so far before coming back. A rubber band is the perfect metaphor to understand the male intimacy cycle. The cycle involves getting close, pulling away, and then getting close again. All right? So if a man does not have the opportunity to pull away, he says, he never gets a chance to feel his strong desire to be close. It is essential for women to understand that if they insist on continuous intimacy or run after their intimate male partner when he pulls away, then he will almost always be trying to escape and distance himself. He will never get a chance to feel his own passionate longing for love. Now, I have been in many relationships prior to the one that I'm in right now. I was in many relationships with women, and they did exactly that. They were constantly smothering me. They never let me have any time alone. They never let me, if to use John's language, pull away. And I wanted to kill them, basically. I wanted to get away from them. So that was really awful. Now, what Babette does very brilliantly in our marriage is, and even when we were dating, she would let me have my space. Right now, I wasn't necessarily very good at articulating that or saying, you know, honey, I need to have some space or whatever. But she was very sensitive to the fact that sometimes I would need to go into my cave, to use John's language, and, you know, whether I'm working on a problem or whether I'm writing a book or, you know, doing videos, whatever I may be doing, she was sensitive enough and smart enough and wise enough to let me go into my cave, get that work done, and then when I was ready to come back, then, of course, I'd be very close to her and wanting to be close to her because she let me have that time alone. So I can definitely agree with this, what John is saying here, that, you know, that men are like rubber bands. I agree with that. What do you think? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? So let's see now. So he talks in this chapter about when a man won't talk, having one-sided conversations. I'm sure certainly every woman watching can relate to that. How was your day? Okay. What happened? The usual. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to invite our friends over? I don't care. Why don't you talk to me? Do you love me? Of course I love you. And so on, right? I'm sure we've had all had those kind of conversations. It's very frustrating. So the point is that he talks here about when a woman obstructs the intimacy cycle through chasing behaviors, physical, emotional, and mental, and then you have punishing behaviors when they do come back. So he ends this chapter by saying, wise men and women. The man grows to understand his own cycles and reassures her when he pulls away that he will be back. So for example, when I tell that story of when I wrote 2 books in 90 days, right? I signed those contracts with Nightingale-Conant and with Hay House here for my book of Affirmations. It just so happens that I had to write 2 books in 90 days. I didn't realize it when I signed the contracts, but as I looked at it, I'm like, oh my God, I got to write 2 books in 90 days. So my point is that I told her, I very specifically told Babette, I said, listen, I got to write these books. I got these contracts. I have to do this. I'm contractually obligated. So it's not that I'm pulling away from you. It's not that I don't love you. It's just I got to get this work done. And she was wise enough to let me do it. Of course, I did it. Wrote 2 books in 90 days. and the rest is history. And then, of course, we got to, celebrate and have a great time after that. So everybody's happy. So that's how a wise woman deals with a man being like a rubber band. Now, women are like waves, is the next chapter here. A woman is like a wave, says John Gray. When she feels loved, her self-esteem rises and falls in a wave motion. When she's feeling really good, she will reach a peak, but then suddenly her mood may crash or change and her wave crashes down. The crash is temporary. After she reaches bottom, suddenly her mood will shift and she will again feel good about herself. Automatically, her wave begins to rise back up. All right, so a woman's self-esteem rises and falls like a wave. When she hits bottom, it's time for emotional house cleaning. How men react to the wave. In relationships, men pull back and then get close, while women rise and fall in their ability to love themselves and others. So the point here is that men tend to be very confused by this. Any man here listening to this, watching this, knows exactly what I'm talking about. Warning signs for men that she may be going into her well, talking about the wave going up and down, right? Or when she needs his love the most. She feels overwhelmed. She might say there's so much to do. She feels insecure. She might say, I need more. She feels worried. She might say, but what about ... She feels exhausted. She might say, I can't do anything more. She feels withholding. She might say, no, I don't want to. She feels controlling. Well, did you ... She feels disapproving. She might say, how could you forget ... right? And so what a man will say, here's some of a man's inappropriate responses, right? When a woman's unresolved feelings recur, he may respond inappropriately by saying things like this. How many times do we have to go through this? I've heard this all before. I thought we established that. When are you going to get off of this? I don't want to deal with this again. This is crazy. We're having the same argument. Why do you have so many problems? I think all of us men have caught ourselves saying something like that, haven't we? Not too smart. Not very smart right there, boys. Okay? So the point is, how a man can support a woman in the well is what he's talking about here. And so why men and women fight. Men argue for the right to be free, while women argue for the right to be upset. Men want space, while women want understanding. Is this always true? Is this true in every case? Of course not. Nothing is. We're talking about humans, folks. So, but I still argue that this is pretty darn accurate for most cases in most situations. And interesting thing here is that money, he says here, doesn't fill or fulfill emotional needs. As a woman's financial needs are fulfilled, she becomes more aware of her emotional needs. So the point is that, I have to say that, like when Babette is going in through her waves, right? And when she's at the top of the wave, she is the most loving person. She's, just incredibly loving and just giving and unconditional to everybody. And then when she goes down in the wave, just like everybody, she's like, she needs reassurance. She needs love. She needs listening. She needs empathy. And in those times, I definitely do not try to fix her. Have I heard the same thing over and over 1,000 times? Of course I have, right? She says the same thing over and over. We've heard it before. And I, sometimes if I'm feeling stupid, I go, honey, we've talked about this only about 10,000 times. And, but we kind of laugh about it because she knows that she knows that she's going through it. And I'm able to support her in getting through it faster without arguing about her feelings. One of the things that I noticed when I was growing up, I did see, and John does talk about this in the book, we men see our fathers responding to our mothers, right, emotional needs in a very, very incorrect, inappropriate way. So my father's way of dealing with my mother's wave was basically to say, you're wrong. Right? You shouldn't feel that way. Why do you feel that way? I learned from a very early age from just observing that was the stupidest thing to say that you could possibly say to a female of the human species. Why do you feel that way? Are you kidding me? They feel that way, all right? Who gives a shit if you should feel that way or why they feel that way or who cares? They feel the way they feel. So shut up and listen, right? He never did that, my father. And so, but even when I was a little kid, I saw it like, that sentence would set my mother off in a second. So I learned from observation, when I get older, I'm not going to say that sentence. Why do you feel that way, right? Even if it's the most illogical and crazy, silly to me thing, right? But remember what I told you when I was looking at Dale Carnegie, when I was walking you through the Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you were that person, you'd feel the same way, right? So who are we to say? Who am I to say that somebody shouldn't feel that way? If I were that person, I'd feel exactly the same way, right? So, that's why I'm walking you through these books, some of my favorite books, because I'm a book nerd. Gary Vaynerchuk said, be who you are. He's one of my teachers. So this is why I started this series of Ask Noah St. John, because I want to share with you who I am. And it's totally nerdy. And I figured, I've tried to be other people. I've tried to be cool. I've tried to be slick. I'm none of those things. I'm not cool. I'm not slick. I'm a nerd. So I realized, just give myself permission. Here I am. I'm 50 years old. And now I'm finally being myself. How about that? And by the way, this t-shirt also came from one of my daughters, Amber. And I love this t-shirt. My new favorite t-shirt. You can't really see it. Here, let me get up here. To save time, let's just assume I'm never wrong. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, is that my favorite shirt? Boy, does that make me happy. Our today's affirmation, our affirmation of today is right here. And that is, why do I accept my partner with love? Why do I accept my partner with love? Wouldn't that be a nice affirmation to use? I suggest you form that today and see how that changes your behavior and your beliefs. All right? So make sure you go to Noah St. John. Make sure you go to noahstjohn.com and get my new book. It's called Get Rid of Your Head Trash, right? And I show you the 5 steps to get rid of your head trash that may be holding you back in your life, your business, your relationships, your health, your finances. Where doesn't your head trash affect you? Where don't your beliefs affect you? Where don't your habits affect you? Exactly, they affect everything. There's nowhere that those things don't affect you. So that's why some people say about my work, it's kind of like duct tape. It fixes everything. All right, so make sure you go to noahstjohn.com, get my new book, Get Rid of Your Head Trash Free. I'm here every Monday through Friday right here on noahnation.com answering your questions about how to get rid of your head trash, get unstuck, find your voice, and automate your business so you can have more time freedom, personal freedom, and financial freedom. For everyone here at successclinic.com, I'm Noah St. John signing off for now. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye for now.